Welcome to the Fear and Greed Business News Afternoon Report for Monday, the 9th of December 2024. I'm Sean Aylmer. Every afternoon, we've got the 5 stories that happened today that you need to know about. Story number 1, the S&P ASX 200 closed flat today. It was actually trading lower all day, then spiked right on 4 p.m. to finish at 8,243 points. By the close, the consumer discretionary stocks did best, while energy companies were among the worst. Not a great day for the big miners, with lower iron ore prices feeding through to their share prices. Fortescue Metals Group ended the day down more than 1%. Goodman Group did well, jumping nearly 4%. It was the best of the top 200 and is up 64% over the past year. Worst was Life 360. It tumbled 8%. Star Entertainment hit a new record low today, having given a trading update after markets closed on Friday. The update said the Queensland government will defer the suspension of the licence for the Star Gold Coast Casino to March 31 from the earlier deadline of December. The special manager's appointment to Star has also been extended to June 30. Sonic Healthcare today said it will buy a German lab group for $700 million. Fund manager Regal Partners walked away from a takeover of Platinum Asset Management that sent the Platinum's share price down 15%, and GQG Partners jumped 7% after reporting higher funds under management and said it's terminating a buyback due to uncertainty around the US tax treatment of on-market buybacks. Story number 2, Prime Minister Anthony Albanese and Nauru President David Adiang have signed a new treaty providing $100 million for the Nauru budget and $40 million to enhance policing, security, training and infrastructure over 5 years. As part of the deal, the Commonwealth Bank will provide banking support from next year after Bendigo Bank departs. Mr Albanese said the treaty underscores the commitment to strengthening Pacific relations, making the region stronger and safer. Mr Adiang said the treaty would strengthen Nauru's economy and address critical challenges such as e-banking. Story number 3, opposition leader Peter Dutton's signature nuclear energy policy is in trouble after the CSIRO found that wind and solar remain the lowest cost form of new power generation. Mr Dutton's been pushing a policy including 7 nuclear reactors across the country to provide carbon-free electricity. The first is due to come online in the middle of the next decade, or at least that's what the opposition hopes. The CSIRO has already concluded that the policy would be too expensive and slow relative to other options. Today it updated its research, pretty much said the same thing. Mr Dutton is expected to this week release full costings of his nuclear policy. Today's report says the first large nuclear reactor could not produce electricity in Australia until 2040 at the earliest, and at a cost per unit of generation of between $145 and $238, well above renewables. Cost for a small modular reactor would be even higher, $189 to $414 per megawatt hour, according to the report. Story number 4, Woollies said it lost about $140 million in food sales due to the 17-day strike at its distribution centres in New South Wales and Victoria, and earnings will be down by about $60 million. But Coles has the opposite problem, with too many customers. Apparently, there's been a shift from shoppers towards Coles because Woolies shelves have been understocked, according to a report in The Australian. Coles has asked suppliers to ship more goods and has put on more people to handle the extra volumes. It's also opened more checkouts to deal with the higher demand. Woolies really can't like that news. It now has to spend the next couple of weeks restocking ahead of Christmas. The warehouse staff returned to work after they got an 11% pay rise over 3 years and changes to work practices. And finally, story number 5, President Joe Biden said the United States has used military forces to conduct airstrikes in Syria to keep the Islamic State group from reasserting itself after the fall of President Bashir al-Assad's government. Speaking at the White House, Mr. Biden celebrated Assad's fall as a fundamental act of justice and expressed hope that after decades of repressive rule, the people of Syria could build a new, freer society. But, according to the New York Times, he warned that it was also a moment of risk and uncertainty, and that his administration would strive in its final days to prevent terrorists from regaining traction. Meanwhile, ousted Syrian President Mr. Assad and his family have reportedly fled to Moscow, where the dictator's chief ally, Russian President Vladimir Putin, has given them asylum. That's it for the afternoon report for Monday, the 9th of December, 2024. Make sure you hit follow on the podcast. We'll be back tomorrow morning with the Tuesday edition of the Fast 5 Business News by Fear and Greed. I'm Sean Aylmer. Enjoy your evening.